Hi. I have been holding off on sharing this news for quite some time, and now is the time to share. On March 20th, I was diagnosed with suspicion of papillary carcinoma in my right thyroid, right side of my thyroid, which is located right here in front of the throat. And it's typically an organ that controls your hormone levels. And in this case, my hormone levels are completely fine, with the exception that I have thyroid cancer. It's been a really intense journey for the past 6 months. I performed at a festival called Soli Luna Tantra Festival in Homestead, Florida on March 20th, and earlier that day I received the news that I was positive on half of my thyroid and negative on the other half. I have a couple nodules on the left side, and then I have a nodule on the right side. The nodules on the left side are benign. The nodule on the right side is malignant. And it's been a flurry. I found out through a routine checkup with my primary care physician at Mount Sinai at internal medicine, Dr. Giselle Mansour. She was just doing a checkup for me, and she touched on my thyroid, and she noticed that she felt some bumps. So I went to have an ultrasound done, and then and a biopsy. And then, it showed positive. So it was very shocking. I'm 35 years old, and oftentimes with cancer, you think or assume that it's either something it's most of the time happening with folks who are much older. And then oftentimes we do hear stories of folks that are younger or children that have cancer. And I just didn't expect that this would happen. I also went into that routine checkup because I finally got Florida Blue HMO. I got a better health insurance this year, and I went to see if I could find resolution for the fibroid that I have in my uterus, because it's been wreaking havoc in my life. I've been bleeding out for many, many years. And some of you supported me last year and donated so generously when I passed out in a restaurant, ended up in the ER, and I was diagnosed in February of last year with pelvic inflammatory disease, a ruptured ovarian cyst, severe anemia. And then later, when I went to the OBGYN and they did a saline ultrasound, they discovered an intramural submucosal fibroid next to a polyp. And they immediately wanted to go to surgery, and I freaked out. And I said, no, I don't want to go into surgery. You know, I'm in this spiritual community, and maybe there's other ways. Kambo, which is this frog poison that's served on these dots on the body, administered through these dots on the body, these small burn marks. And it's supposed to really help clear out negative energies, but also more than that, like anything that's in your organs, in your system, in your blood, that's causing disease. And so last year I thought I could go through those processes, and I ended up falling into a very severe depression. I ended up not working for a month, taking money, borrowing money from like loan companies, and then ending up getting myself in twice as much debt because they charge so much on their APR. And really feeling like the tower fell, for those of you who are familiar with tarot. And I was waiting for new health insurance for this year, and then when I got it, I was super excited, thinking that I was going to resolve this fibroid situation with the Western and Eastern practices together and figure out a way, only to discover that I also have thyroid cancer. So that hit me pretty hard. And if you can imagine that, like, I was hesitant to get a surgery for my fibroid, having to remove half of my thyroid for a full biopsy for them to like 100% prove that it is thyroid cancer. I just also wanted to explore all of my options and see what's possible. And so I really wanted to meet all of you from a place of as much knowledge and information as possible from the allopathic side, the Western medicine side, and trying some Eastern medicine side aspects as well. So I did do combo. I did 3 sessions in a month, and that did help a little bit. And then I was told to do microdoses of combo, 30 days, 1 day on, 1 day off. And in order for me to have done that, I would have had to take a month off of work. And because of the chronic blood loss and the severe anemia, I haven't been able to work more than like 12 days a month, which has been really challenging financially, especially coming out of a really hard year last year, and also wanting to advance as a practitioner in the world of intimacy, connection, conflict resolution, tantra, conscious BDSM, and all of these modalities that I'm super passionate about, and all this expression and permission that I bring to the world. And thinking that I can keep going, and I can take courses, and I can take workshops and do retreats, and just keep pushing and trying to figure out all of the information, going to so many different doctors. I know many of you know what I'm talking about with either having colleagues or friends or loved ones or family members who've been diagnosed with cancer. It's crazy, just the different opinions and perspectives and thoughts, and it's been really overwhelming. I again fell into a depression, and I mask a lot. I also believe in the spirit of positivity when shit's hitting the fan, literally, and how important it is to have joy, how important it is to have love, connection, community, which in this time frame, I did land a community house here in Miami Beach, in Mid Beach, called House of Ida. That is a sacred space for all folks to come together and be able to express themselves freely, and different facilitators, teachers, colleagues can come teach workshops on sex education, sacred sexuality, connection, intimacy, community building, leadership, all of those things, but always including eros as an aspect of anything that we're doing, not shaming it or punishing it. So there have been many beautiful things. I have continued to perform. I have worked when I can work. And then there's been the really debilitating moments where I've just been kicked on my ass and I can't move. And some of you have seen me like that, where I'm bleeding and I'm waking up in pools of my own blood because of the fibroid, and I'm feeling dizzy. So finally I got some intravenous ferritin and iron about 2 months ago, and that has radically shifted my blood again, where I'm not getting as dizzy or feeling as lightheaded as I have been feeling really over the course of the past year and a half, especially. And now I'm at a point where I reached a point about a month ago where I hit a wall, and I said, I can't wait anymore. Doing combo for a month, and then, I can't work with combo. My face is totally just swollen, and being this place of just I think I'm ready to go through with the surgery to remove the fibroid. So I'm having an abdominal myomectomy tomorrow. The surgery is at noon, and they're going to do a C-section incision, and they're going to go into my womb, my uterus, and they're going to cut out the fibroid. And I did find out that this surgery typically means that I will not be able to give birth vaginally. Miracles can happen, I'm not sure, but it was really disheartening to hear that. And a lot of what I heard from a lot of different women was also even if none of this was happening to you, Meleza, and this with your health, you could have a baby that's too big. You could have a complication during pregnancy. You don't have any guarantee that you can give a vaginal birth. So if I don't do this surgery, I can't give birth naturally anyway. And it would be a very precarious experience for myself and for the baby because of the location of the fibroid. The uterus is like this, and this fibroid is located inside, intramural submucosal, and it's towards the bottom. So it's growing, and yeah, it's a really horrifying experience to live a life and to mask all of the time. And so I'm coming to you for support. I won't be able to work for anywhere between a month to 3 months, depending on whether I choose to move forward with having half of my thyroid removed as well. And so with the fibroid surgery, it's a 4 to 6 week recovery process with 1 week of mandatory bed rest. And then definitely no heavy lifting for 2 to 6 weeks. And so I do a lot of physical work. I do tantric body work. I do work with BDSM. And then I also do coaching. And this is significantly affecting my finances. So I'm asking for help to support me with paying for, my housing, and helping me pay for food, and just helping me also pay for maybe some alternative healing practices that I can do that aren't covered by a Florida Blue HMO. There's a few medical centers, one in West Palm Beach called Hippocrates Wellness Center. There's one in Mexico called Sanaviv. The cancer treatment program at Hippocrates Wellness Center is $23,000 for a month. And they do accept scholarships, which I have yet to apply. I need to apply to that. And then it's $40,000 for Sanaviv in Mexico. They do not accept scholarships. And that's a 4-week-long cancer wellness program with oncologists present, and also people in the bioenergetic world present with sound frequency technologies and frequency technologies and things like that. So in an ideal world, I have this surgery with this fibroid. It gets removed. I'm not bleeding my life out anymore. And I'm able to then proceed to determine what's going to happen with the thyroid cancer. I have an ultrasound on the 18th. It's the third one. I got 2 different results from 2 different hospitals, one from Mount Sinai and one from the University of Miami. So we're doing a third one to see if there's been growth in the nodules. And if there has been growth, then I do have a propensity to lean towards getting the surgery, only because the financial weight of these cancer wellness programs is so high that at this point I can't afford to go and try something out that's different. So maybe with your help, I can afford to go to one of these cancer wellness treatment centers. Maybe there's people that you know that can support me with their stories and their journeys and their anecdotes. I'll be posting a WhatsApp group chat underneath here in the group description. And you can also reach out to me directly at eatmycake.love on Instagram for that link to get connected. I think I'm actually going to put it in my link tree. So it's going to probably say Meleza support group. And that's going to be a space where you can offer emotional support, you can offer data, anecdotal experiences, contact information can be sent for folks who have had these kinds of experiences through a direct message. My mother, my stepfather, my partner, and a beloved of mine will be taking care of me this upcoming week. And then after that, for the 2 to 6 weeks after that, I invite anyone who wants to come to Miami Beach, Florida, and spend some time with me, spend some time in the collective. It's a 30-minute walk to the beach, a 3-minute drive to the beach, and support me in any way. That would be greatly appreciated as well. If you're curious about the work that I do and you want to learn more, I also have my offerings and my services listed in my link tree under somatic offerings. And you can pay for a session ahead of time, and then we can book out a session on the calendar in the next 2 months. That's also very supportive as well. And yeah, it's a lot. It's been a lot. I do feel the most grounded today that I have felt in a long time, just coming out of facilitating the East Coast Tantra Festival and attending Awaken as Love as a participant to help regulate my nervous system, and get prepared for these surgeries, which are the biggest surgeries I've ever had in my life. And so thank you for taking the time to watch this. Thank you for loving me, supporting me, being there for me in whatever way that you can, and for believing in the offerings that I bring to the world. I look forward to celebrating with all of you after this. And please use my voice, use this message as an opportunity to bring more awareness around fibroids and around thyroid cancer, since it is the most prevalent in women in their 30s and 40s. And it is a type of environmental cancer. It's not a cancer that's typically caused from a lineage or DNA or passed down from family or anything like that. It's not based on genetics. It's environmental. It's probably stress related. They're probably connected to each other, even though I'm being told they're not. I believe that they are, because the womb, the second chakra, and the throat chakra are so connected. And so much of my work is based on freedom of expression and permission, because for so long I felt silenced. I didn't feel seen. I didn't feel heard. And that's why this work is so important to me. And I do believe that having an IUD in for 11 years, the Paragard, it's the copper IUD, caused significant damage to my womb, which then caused significant damage to my thyroid. There's no way for me to prove that without more anecdotal data and more like scientific data. And if you are a scientist, a research scientist, a filmmaker, if you collect data, if you're someone that wants to support these stories getting out more so that more people can prepare themselves, understand what the process is, I'm totally here for it. I'm here for all forms of documentation and research to bridge the gap between the Eastern and Western medicines. And I welcome that as well. So thank you again. Love you. And my Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, Apple Pay is located underneath here. And also, you can message me privately, or you can see the handles for where to donate on my Instagram as well. So I am going to create a Substack, and I am going to be posting more often on updates. Last year, I dropped the ball with that once, and this year, I'm going to make sure to let y'all know what's going on so that you can feel like you're a part of this with me, helping me elevate up and through this. So have a beautiful day.